Hello, everybody, and welcome to the main viewer. You are watching it. We are participating in it. Everybody's talking about it. It's time to have some fun. Happy Tuesday. Happy Trek Tuesday. We are live. We are here with Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Hello. Pleasure to be here as always. Always love being on the main viewer.
We're here with Melissa Longo, of course.
Hello, I'm lost in space.
Okay, that's my new favorite intro.
Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel is here. Top that intro.
I can't top it, but we have a birthday in the live chat, Glenn Iverson.
Oh,
so happy birthday,
Glenn Iverson.
Hey, Glenn.
Awesome. My name is Ryan T. Husk. I like to mix things up a bit. Usually we say an intro with what we're going to talk about, and then we introduce ourselves. But let's talk about real quick everything that we're going to cover today. There's some big changes in the Star Trek new stuff schedule that's going to be exciting. We're going to talk about that for a bit. Jonathan Frakes has said a lot of good, interesting, fun stuff over the last few days. We're going to talk about all those. What are those called? Spoilers? What is that necessarily?
Hints? Yeah. Pearls.
Pearls. We're also going to talk about Deep Space Nine was trending yesterday, and Anne-Marie figured out why, because I couldn't. And I also have a couple things to bring up about Deep Space Nine secondary characters. There's a little thing going on with the secondary characters, a tournament that's really interesting. We're going to look back on our favorite moments of 2021 with regards to Star Trek, and Falling Tower has a big announcement, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really cool, lots of fun. Whew, I'm already tired. We haven't even talked about any of the things. So happy birthday to Glenn Iverson. You guys just want to get into it? Yeah, let's just get into it, right? So first things first. No, I can't use that. Star Trek on Paramount Plus made a big announcement yesterday that they are changing up their schedule a little bit. So this week, episode 7 of Discovery will be the final Discovery episode before a mid-season break until early February. And then for the next 5 weeks will just be the next 5 episodes of Prodigy. So instead of the 2 shows going concurrently running at the same time, they're now going to be one after the other. And does that mean that Picard is getting pushed back a little bit more if they're going to be 4, 5, or 6 more episodes of Discovery starting in February? Then that means they'll end in like mid-March. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Good question.
Oh wait, well, Mohammed, you can't say what you think.
Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
Fair. I mean, I don't know
like
if they're going to
knows.
overlap or not. I don't know the answer.
Anne-Marie, what do you think?
Okay, so okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, it's really hard to know because so a lot of the articles like Trek Movie and Trek Core, they're like saying that Discovery will have 13 episodes probably because that's usually the standard for the order. But on IMDb, it still is saying 11 episodes. And if it's 11 episodes, I think only like 1 week would overlap with Picard. But it seems like Paramount Plus is really pushing to only have 1 episode on a week, except for that one day where we got 2, that glorious day. So, I mean, I'm kind of guessing Picard will be pushed back because there's no reason to have both of them going on for like 3 or 4 weeks together.
Mm-hmm. Well, also everybody, we do want to say, please be sure to like this video or give this 5 stars if you're listening in. Subscribe to this channel, do all the things that help this kind of channel or medium thrive. Mohammed right now on his phone is giving the video a like for us. Thank you, Mohammed.
There you go.
And so be sure to share this with your friends. Give us a like, comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. And let's continue on. Here is Let's see.
Was it time to unpack Jonathan Frakesisms?
Well, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So here's what we're talking about here, guys. Great picture, by the way.
Oh,
It is.
freaking
Camera loves her.
iconic, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mid-season finale, December 30th, 2021. That's this Thursday. Season 4 returns February 10th, right? So that's going to be 5 weeks without it, which is exactly how many more episodes we have of Prodigy in the first half of Prodigy's first season. And I'm sure there were a lot of silly comments attached to that.
Oh, the other really shut up. It's because I helped host a discovery party at Barracuda Bar in Manhattan, and it's really hard to do the bar schedule and get this amazing event space on Saturdays to host parties that really excel engagement, especially with the LGBT community and how iconic Discovery is for that. So it'd be nice to have a little heads up.
What group is
to
that?
Proudly Go.
Yeah.
On all social media. With
it'd be great. It'd be great if the shows
charity.
do overlap a little bit, though, don't you think? I mean, it'd be like back in the 90s again, like with Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
I
It'd be really
know, I
nice.
love it.
Yeah, it gives people an opportunity to, I don't know. Sometimes you want a different flavor of Trek, and it gives you an opportunity to have that in your palate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
than
God.
just
What if
one.
we had 2 Star Treks and an Orville on the same day?
Whoa.
I think my head would explode. Yeah.
Gross.
I'd be awake all night.
Sounds messy. Who's
Yeah.
gonna clean up after that? I just love how spoiled we're all getting. Whereas a few years ago, we're like, we'll take anything. New Star Trek, just give us something, just give us anything. And now we're like, I want a little bit of variety, Star Trek. I want to have 2 or 3 things coming out at the same time. Like,
Well,
I just want to.
It is
we
like
did
the old
have
days.
that in the 90s
we did.
when we had TNG and Deep Space Nine, and
Yep.
then Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So
It was glorious.
I think that's okay.
But also really hard to keep up with. And I ended up actually not even watching Star Trek anymore for decades because my VHS couldn't handle it because it would always be postponed for sports, and then my tape would run out and I'd get behind. But I guess streaming's a different animal where that can't happen. But Mike Goo is actually in the live chat, and he's reminding us that we also don't know when Strange New World's going to drop. I think, well, we'll talk about the Strange New Worlds in a minute. But so far, it's an unconfirmed start date for 2022 sometime.
I don't feel like they would lose people by having them overlap a little bit. I mean, it's one thing if they completely overlap, but just having a little bit of a tail there, it's not like people are all going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to cancel my Paramount Plus subscription for a week and bring it back.
To be fair, I kind of do that. Because
Do you?
sometimes okay, here's a spoiler. Sometimes when you do that, they give you 3 months to come back.
Oh.
Yeah. But you didn't hear it from me.
Ryan, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. When Discovery's first season ended, I did that where I was just like, okay, cool. Well, that was great. I enjoyed it. Now let me cancel Paramount Plus. And they're like, are you sure you don't want to come back for $5 or $4? And I was like, no, thanks. They're like, we'll pay you. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
deal.
We'll pay you.
To be fair,
Whatever it was.
sometimes when there's new Star Trek, I'll do 2 subscriptions and give 1 away just to really support it because I love Star Trek so much. So I'm not trying to get not support the art. But
yeah, since then I've kept
feel
my Paramount Plus for 3 years straight, my subscription.
Well, that I understand, but I was thinking if they overlap by, let's say for example, there was a week gap. I don't think anybody would cancel for that week and bring it back.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? I get for the end of
Well,
Discovery
point.
because then there was a long gap, right? And indeterminately long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Melissa, I interrupted you.
Well, I mean, I don't see that there's a really big deal if there is an overlap in shows other than the subscription thing, because streaming makes it easy. You just, after you watch one, switch to the other one. Who cares which one you watch first? It doesn't matter.
the live groups, the live Facebook group, live commentary, which I'm
So
super obsessed
decide
with at
which one
3
you want
a.m.
to do anymore, and then go on that one.
That's
That was
such a
one of my
Sophie's
favorite-
choice.
That was one of my favorite things back in November when we had that one time that we had two on one day of thinking, well, which one should I watch first? And I came to the conclusion that obviously I should watch Prodigy first because that's the one that's ending, and then watch Discovery because but that was fun. But then what are we going to do if they're like all going at the same time? I'm going to my head will also explode, Anne-Marie.
Also write letters to Orville asking them to like change it to a different day so we can have like all of the joy spread out over a few days. But well, the other
Tuesday
thing
would
that's
be
like
good.
Tuesday would be fun, or Friday, I was thinking, because I guess they like to drop them so that people can watch on the weekend because they don't realize how crazy of a fan base it is. Like, I'm gonna wait till the weekend to watch a new Orville. But one like interesting thing about Paramount is Plus though is now like that Star Trek's actually being for real taken off of every single streaming service. Like obviously I can't go that long without watching Voyager and TNG and Deep Space Nine. So they kind of have me over a barrel.
That's a good point. Like people were following, the seventh rule, or even other things like Delta Flyers, all those things. Anybody who's following them, they're going to have to keep their Paramount Plus subscription now. Yeah, it's a good point.
And we still don't know. Mohammed, was that you that were saying we still don't know when Strange New Worlds is coming out, right?
It wasn't me. It was one of the others.
Mike Goo.
Oh, Mike Goose said that. Okay. Yeah. Do we know? Does anybody? I think it's still going to be a while, right?
All I've seen confirmed is 2022, and then the little tidbit that Jonathan Frakes told us.
Right. Didn't he say something about February as well?
That's for the next season filming starting.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
Before it even airs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Jonathan Frakes and all of the tea that he spilled all over everybody's laps on the internet.
Is it regular Earl Grey hot or
I don't think Frakes drinks that kind of tea. What kind of tea? This is a good question for the people on the live chat. What kind of tea do you think Jonathan Frakes drinks?
I know this. The prohibition punch out of teacups because it's jazzy.
What's the tea that Kira drinks? Or they drink on a few of them on Deep Space Nine drink it. It's like Torellian tea or something. What's his name? Bashir drinks it too. I've heard them say it on Deep Space Nine a few times. Okay, that's two questions. Everybody in the live chat. What kind of tea would Riker drink? And what is that tea that they talk about? No, and then Ducat drinks red leaf tea. I think Ducat said he drinks red leaf tea.
That actually sounds yummy.
Mm-hmm. Sounds boisterous, like rooibos. Okay.
Yeah,
Tarkalian tea.
Yes.
Thank you, Faith Howell. Tarkalian tea.
I like Glenn Iverson's response of Long Island iced tea.
Yes, true. That's true.
Nice.
Yeah, Glenn Iverson, nicely done, and happy birthday again. Tech with Todd also gets Tarkalian tea. Okay, so Jonathan Frakes. Let's see. There was a good aggregate of all the news on trekmovie.com here. I'll pull it up on the screen. There we go. And this came out a few days ago. Trekmovie.com basically got a lot of information from a bunch of different sources where Jonathan Frakes was talking to people and really gave us a ton of interesting things. Sees a next generation parallel with Zora. That's interesting because they're looking for their humanity. Then there's the inverse article. I think we have that here, possibly. Gizmodo. I don't know. There's been so many articles.
It's been so chatty this week, starting with the Ready Room last Thursday. And such great interviews.
So a few of the things that were really interesting was number one, that he mentioned Discovery season 5. Last week's episode was Jonathan Frakes' 7th behind the camera for Star Trek Discovery, even though he has been part of other shows, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's the IO9 thing that we clicked on here.
And I believe that was like the big Discovery kind of like point in this article was that during the Ready Room with Will Wheaton, he alluded to directing more in season 5 of Discovery, but season 5 hasn't been announced yet. So people are surmising that's a pretty good indication there will be
Right.
one.
Right. I also want to point out here that he says, I always look forward to coming on Discovery because Sonequa is number one. He doesn't mean number one
Okay,
because that's him.
Yeah.
Number one on the call sheet.
Yeah.
Takes one to know
He's-
one.
He says you couldn't ask for a better number one on a call sheet. I think this is
That's very
the
sweet.
right time for us to give a little love to Sonequa, because I personally have never met her or probably even come close to meeting her. But every single thing I've ever heard from every person that does know her has been scintillating. People say such great things about her. They're always talking about how wonderful she is. And it's not like, oh, yeah, she's cool. You know, it's like they all just want to vomit compliments about how wonderful she is as a person. So I just think it's important to acknowledge that and just say, look, clearly, Muhammad, you may have met her. I don't know, but
Briefly, but yeah, she was lovely. Yeah.
Those of us who have never met her have to just accept the fact that she's a wonderful human being at this point. At this point, there's no debate. Everybody agrees. It's all very clear. But you did meet her, huh?
I did, briefly at Dragon Con this past September. Yeah, she was lovely. I went up to her and had a quick chat there. I think I did buy like a quick selfie with her too. But we talked just a little bit about things she'd been doing on the show, and she was lovely. And everything I've heard, talking. So I talk with Jane Brooke, as you know, all the time. Jane's very, very positive about Sonequa all the time. Not just her kindness, but also her talent as an actress and stuff too. She's very, very positive about her all the time.
Sweet. That's cute. Does she say anything in particular about her sense of humor or her kindness, or what is it that?
I just remember the word kindness coming up a lot, that she you couldn't find a nicer person. Actually, I do remember one story that I don't think this was from Jane. I think this was from somebody else, about somebody who had to, maybe this came up in a panel at one point in time, where somebody had to work really late in filming. And often if you're filming really late, the people who aren't part of a particular part will just go ahead and head home, because, it's like 1, 2 in the morning or something like that. But somebody, I can't remember who it was who said this, said that Sonequa stayed there just to, provide support for this person going till like 2, 3 in the morning, just to be there for her, which, that was very sweet.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not like she doesn't have a lot to do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember hearing that story too, and I don't know who it was that said
I
that.
remember now. Yeah.
Maybe it was one of the Klingons.
Maybe. Or it could have been like Mary Wiseman on a panel or somebody too. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure that we all give her the acknowledgement that
this season,
she clearly deserves.
Yeah, this season, you really see her talent coming out there, where she's playing all sorts of different, emotions and roles and things like that, and having a hefty spotlight on herself as captain. And I feel like she's doing really, really well with it. I mean, it's very, very compelling all the time. I've been very impressed. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, Anne-Marie, it seems like you've done more homework than I have on this Jonathan Frakes Speaks stuff. So the 5th season of Discovery that is yet to be announced. But yeah, you're right. It
was like a soft illusion. But usually, like, if anybody knows stuff about Jonathan Frakes, or about what's going on in Star Trek, it's Jonathan Frakes. So, an interesting clue.
Mm-hmm. Strange New Worlds season 2. He also mentions,
was like confirmed basically, because he actually said he's on the docket for actual Strange New Worlds season 2 episodes starting, I think he said February 22 or spring 22. So that means, season 1 isn't even aired yet. So that's an amazing.
Right. So
that's an amazing faith in the show.
Right. So Jonathan Frakes, again, is who we're talking about. The article here is, is Trek Movie. He says, I did a number of them, Picard season 2, and I'm just finishing editing a couple of episodes he directed in season 3. I love being on that show as well, and I'm booked to direct Strange New Worlds season 2, which I missed out on season 1 because of the pandemic. So he does let us know that he didn't direct any episodes in Strange New Worlds season 1, but that he will direct in season 2, which also means there will be a season 2 of Strange New Worlds, which I'm sure we kind of expected, but it's still nice to know that it's greenlit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Period.
and it said the production starts February 2022, right?
Mhm.
On the screen there.
Yeah.
Barely over a month from now. Scary.
Yeah, I also follow this really good Twitter account called about Toronto filming or filming in Toronto. And sometimes I get really fun spoilers about what's going on in Star Trek world by non-Trekkies who just report everything that goes on in Toronto. So that's a really fun life hack. And sometimes they show really cool behind the scenes, especially Strange New Worlds, because they have some really cool outdoor sets that you don't see really reported anywhere else. So fun Twitter account. But the other thing in that article, we hadn't had it confirmed, I don't think, that he was doing both seasons of Picard, at least for directing.
Mhm.
So another fun tidbit, because I think of all the things he directs, it's most special when he directs Picard, at least for me.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
and I
also a
like
lot
that
of
you made a shout out to the showrunner of Picard. The
Oh yeah,
second
Terry
season of
Matalas.
Picard, saying that he's as big of a TNG fan as Mike McMahon, which
wow.
bodes well
That's
in my
high
book.
bar.
So
Oh, and also
makes me look forward to seeing Picard second season a lot.
Terry Matalas is just also so amazing on Twitter, constantly interacting with fans 24/7. I think he might be an android. Anytime because I set all my notifications because his tweets are so great. And my phone is just 24/7 notifications that he's tweeting and responding to fans. He's so interactive and cool.
Mhm.
Man is pretty good in that regard too.
Yeah.
He's very responsive as well.
Especially he didn't get to go anywhere this winter or for the holidays. He's been just trying to quarantine and he got a whiskey delivery. So he's been very energetic on Twitter, interacting with fans and drinking whiskey. It's really cute.
Chuck A reminds us that he's called Two Takes Frakes as a director, which is great. Also, another thing that Mr. Frakes mentions is that he will be back, theoretically, if this article is correct. I believe it's Screen Rant. He will be back playing Captain Riker in Lower Decks season 3. So that is exciting. I don't know how they'll bring him. What was the Vulcan's name? Turin?
Yes. Right?
Talin or Talin or Turin?
Vulcan Daria, Talin.
Yeah, maybe she'll be on the Titan, but I don't think so. I think she'll be on the Cerritos.
We'll go back to Alt Boimler.
Oh, right. Maybe
that's right. That's why there's Alt Boimler. Because I was how does Boimler get back on? Duh, William T. Riker.
Right. No, you're right. I was confused there because he mentioned something about being back with Boimler. And I was but Boimler's not on that ship anymore. But right, there's the other one. Is it called Alt Boimler? You can't call him Mirror Universe. Okay,
that's Boimler's middle name.
It's Doppelganger. Doppelboimler. Yeah. Anyway, lots of stuff. I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff.
Totally agree with Melissa though. Having a showrunner who's a major TNG fan for Picard is so fun. I can't even wait.
They should be a huge fan of Picard. TNG, if they're doing Picard,
Totally. I think they already made that mistake when they did, was it Nemesis, where they hired a director who didn't really watch Star Trek? One of the TNG movies. We don't want that to happen again. Although I love all the TNG movies, it's just sad that you don't get the backstage really fun stories and energy of other fans.
Chuck
A calls him Clone Boimler.
So I wonder if Alt Boimler will hang out with Tom Riker. That'd be interesting.
That's what I want to know. Is Tom Riker out of jail? Is the other question.
That's what I was going to say. Is he still in prison?
That's the worst loose end in all of Star Trek.
in prison at that. So my guess is he probably is.
All right, everybody in the chat, is that the worst loose end left open in Star Trek ever, or can you think of other bad ones? Worst ones possibly.
Although you could argue that he did get out when Cardassia fell during the Dominion Wars. You don't know what could have happened to the prisoners of Cardassia after, they were left in shambles.
some Vorta that as their last act let him go just to raise
Right.
havoc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to know that he's not dead.
This Screen Rant article hypothesizes very quickly, or is that hypothesis or conjecture? I don't know.
Sizes, you were right. You said it right.
Once we get past 1 or 2 syllables, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about in words. He says right here, he says you could have 2 Rikers and 2 Boimlers in an away mission, which could be fun.
That's funny.
What a team, Riker says. Anyway, okay, so any final thoughts on what we've learned here today?
All of it sounds great. I mean, it seems really exciting what they're doing with all these series right now. I'm very excited for every single one of them.
I know, especially with how great Lower Deck season 3 was. Oh,
Season 2?
Season 2. Yeah. Oh my God, there's so many seasons to keep track of now. I love it.
Right?
What a great problem.
So people are agreeing with you, Anne-Marie. Thomas Riker for sure says Chuck A. Medallion says Tom Riker has been dead in a Cardassian prison for decades. Medallion also says I was honestly hoping for a Tom Riker mention during the Deep Space Nine documentary as a gag. That would be funny. Lots of good stuff there. Okay. So what's next on the
Glenn Iverson?
Yeah, I like that.
Like that episode of First Contact.
Thomas Riker seduced a female prison guard and escaped with her.
I love First Contact, the episode, so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, continue. That episode is just such a classic
right now, so I don't know what you're laughing at.
Oh, sorry. So Glenn Iverson said Thomas Riker seduced a female prison guard and escaped with her. So like kind of like the plot line of the one with Phoebe Newirth. I love that. Amazing. That's my new headcanon.
So yesterday, an interesting phenomenon popped up. People saw on Twitter that Deep Space Nine was somehow trending, which is strange because there were no Deep Space Nine announcements. There was no big Deep Space Nine anything that we know of. So, you know, we were all pretty curious, but everybody kind of jumped on board was like, hey, if Deep Space Nine is trending, let me just go ahead and say that Deep Space Nine is the best show ever, or whatever people wanted to put out into the world. But I was not able to figure out why the hell it was trending. Anne-Marie, you said you were able to figure it out. And what is that?
So let me just look for the exact title.
It was the virtual Trek Con coming to a conclusion, of course.
Yeah, it's
obviously.
So basically there was a tweet that said like, oh yeah, 10 TV shows to know me. And then you list like, obviously, 10 TV shows. So apparently like Deep Space Nine and I guess TNG later in the day started trending too. Though Deep Space Nine was on like so many people's top 10 lists that started trending in a really fun way. And then my favorite is like Robert Hewitt Wolf did his top 10 list with like all shows he wrote, was a writer on. And Ira was like loving that Deep Space Nine was getting attention. And yeah, it was just a really, really fun day of Twitter. And everybody was like, this should be every day, which I agree.
So that's really cool. So what it was that there was just one of these games or whatever that was trending. You know, there's always like a thing that's trending. And this was a game where they say these are the top 10 shows to get to know me. And so Deep Space Nine was trending kind of organically because it was mentioned so often within that thing. Is that what it is?
Yes. And when I started like looking at just like going through like all of Twitter, not just people I know, it was like actually really mind blowing how many people who aren't even like the usual Trek Twitter people were mentioning it in their top 10. Thought it was really lovely. And also kind of like another reason it's a little bit of a shame that it's going to go behind a paywall where new people can't as easily be exposed to it. But yeah, super fun. And of course it was really fun to see TNG trend later in the day too.
it's so cool to see the show that like that we all love, that's 25 years oldish, that's
Yes.
had such an amazing impact. And you see like, okay, here's the impact coming out there. People are saying, if
Yes.
you want to get to know me, this is one of the shows to know. It's not, Game of Thrones or whatever, something that's fairly recent. I mean, no offense to Game of Thrones, it's great, but Deep Space Nine, I mean,
So
it clearly
beautiful.
influenced so many people in such a big way. I mean, it really was an epic show.
And it
Which
could have,
which means which tells you that it should be included more often than it is, because it means so much to so many people that it often gets overlooked. And I don't like this. I don't like this being overlooked thing, because obviously it trended organically for a reason,
Right.
So there's still a hunger for all things Deep Space Nine, and it
Right.
shouldn't be swept aside as often as it is.
Why do you think it is?
so I heard, like, for example, so Larry, well, one thing I really like is that Larry calls
Larry Nemeczek.
Dr. Star Trek / Dr. Trek. He likes to call them armchair fans, or armchair Trekkies, where we don't like hear about them as much. So people forget that like there's such a humongous untapped population of fans who we don't like. If you're just doing social media, not actually a lot of people do Star Trek social media, but actually, so Larry has this Trekland Portal 47 where every month he has a special guest. And I guess last month he had Mike McMahon on, or this month, I can't remember. All the days are just running together now that there's more pandemic stuff going on.
I think it's still March 2020 right now.
Yeah,
to be perfectly
exactly.
honest.
It was actually, I think it was a few weeks ago, but apparently somebody asked the question to Mike McMahon, because it's basically like a roundtable with the guest. Portal 47, LarryNemeczek.com for more details. But somebody asked him about Deep Space Nine and why there aren't more references. Like, and yeah, I know they're like, every once in a while one, but it doesn't compare to how many references aside from TNG like Voyager gets. So he said that one reason is because Renee was such an amazing Odo, it kind of hurts to reference Deep Space Nine as much without like Renee still being alive. But I kind of like I think that's like a really sweet sentiment. But then on the flip side, I think a really good rebuttal would be that what greater way to like honor his legacy by reminding people how wonderful the show was, and like giving the show that much love, especially while we still have, obviously, like now we've lost Aaron and Renee and a lot of like not more minor, but like not main cast or the main recurring cast. Like, why not be able to like honor them and incorporate them more, and while they're still with us.
Right.
Well, and I know Aaron would love to know that he's being referenced even after he's gone.
Exactly.
I mean, he would love his legacy to live on that way. He wants Nog to continue and succeed, and because he invested so much of himself in Nog that even though he's gone, that's part of how he lives on.
Exactly.
That's how we continue to carry him through this Trek verse.
Totally. And have his like fellow castmates. Like, I mean, obviously we're biased because we love Jake and Nog. Like, have Jake, so that it always just makes people think of Nog too, or anybody on Deep Space Nine, to just like incorporate that show so it doesn't. I mean, it's just so rich that it's a shame to not take advantage of the amazingness.
Well, and take advantage of the people who are still around while they're still around, because there's such great talent in that show that it should be tapped more often.
Totally.
I think part of the reason, this is just my opinion, I don't have any data on this, my opinion is part of the reason it didn't get as much love earlier as it does now is it's harder with arc-based shows. Like if something's episodic and you miss 2 episodes and you come in, you're like, okay, what's going on now? Oh, they retake. Whereas now, I mean, it's not a big deal to just go back. We were just talking before we started too about like, having, trying to videotape shows back in that era and things like that. Even if you were videotaping them, if there was a special or sports, heaven forbid sports, they always run way over. Sorry, I'm bitter about that. That used to always piss me off.
It was so annoying.
It was really hard to keep up with it. Whereas now it's much easier to go through it. And now, if anything, I think people have a greater appreciation for the arc-based things because the level of depth you can do if everything isn't a bottle episode is so much greater, right? So I mean, when we think about the shows that people love, I mean, actually some of the other ones off that list, like Battlestar Galactica, that was very much, that was very much an arc-based show too. Right. That's part of the reason, one of the reasons I think it's extraordinarily popular now. But with streaming, it's so much easier to do that, and you can really appreciate the amazing work they did back then.
Totally. Also, like the younger fans of TNG, like Deep Space Nine was like a little bit slightly too old sometimes for me. And then like going back, then it just like totally wins your heart because it's so the same universe. And as you can watch all the episodes in order and you're older, and like can really relate, especially to like the more mature female characters who, if you're like 8 or 9, sometimes it's a little hard. It's just like a more mature show that really ages well. Same with Voyager, and like also they used to be on a little bit later than TNG. I think they were targeted for more adult audiences. So just, I feel like all these things together, I think it would be really great to incorporate them in more.
Yeah.
And if you can put Outrageous Okana on Prodigy, like that guy was a total womanizer from TNG. Like surely any Deep Space Nine character would be a great addition to anything.
Yeah, I do want to point out our live chat. JR Poole reminds us it is Nichelle Nichols' birthday, so happy birthday to her. We should have mentioned that at the top. So that's really cool. Really love counting all of her birthdays. Every year it swoops back around and we get to think about her and smile. Also, a lot of people in the chat.
She 89?
89 already?
I think that's right. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
That was a good year. A lot of people in the chat are really pushing for Deep Space Nine getting more love because we need to kind of get it out there and get the love that it deserves. And it is growing. It's definitely been building for the last few years. But they say, here we go, a few comments here. Scott Jensen knows how to win my heart. He says, it's trending because of you, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I heard that.
Completely lying, but that's okay. Tech with Todd says, Seventh Rule has created a new wave of Deep Space Nine love. Thank you. We're doing our best.
You're doing the work of the prophets.
It's trending because a lot of Trek fans participate in that top 10 list. Yes. Chuck A also says the Seventh Rule is doing a great job of promoting Deep Space Nine. Glenn Iverson says something very funny. He says, Ira, aka the grape beard of the galaxy.
That's great.
I wanted to watch when I said it so I could see your reactions there. That was a good one. But yeah, it's true that we all, and Medallion also says, happy birthday, Melissa, coming up soon.
Soon. Yeah, less than a week.
It's never too early to start celebrating.
And Mohammed.
Or too late. Oh,
that's right.
Yes.
I have alerts set in my calendar for this. It just hasn't come on yet.
When is yours again, Mohammed? You've told me like 10 times. It is. Okay. I didn't
first.
want to. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's like Saturday. Okay, everybody. Okay. So on Twitter on Saturday, flood Mohammed with happy birthday wishes. And then clear the slate on the 2nd. And then on the 3rd, flood Melissa with happy birthday wishes. And then give yourself a break for a couple days. And then on the 6th, flood the entire internet with reminders that Aaron Eisenberg's birthday is the 6th. And he deserves to have his legacy called out and remembered over and over again, just like Deep Space Nine does. So that's your mission for the next week. It's going to be a fun mission though, right?
I have a really good, Faith Howell said another plot line that was never picked up again, which I really love, is Laas, like Laas. He was the changeling that like was dispersed somewhere in the galaxy and then like met up with Odo.
Right. His last name was Angelus, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Vegas.
He grew up in Los Angeles. Yeah. So yeah, that is a great one. Like a guy we never saw again after one episode. Awesome.
But you guys stop the presses.
By the way.
Yes. Stop the presses. Mike Goo in the live chat says his birthday is January 4th. Wow. So pretty soon, the 7th Rule is just going to own January. It's just going to take it over completely. Happy birthday, Mike Goo. Wow, that's awesome.
My head just exploded. I didn't know that JG played Laas. Les.
Yeah.
What? That's some insane makeup. Wow, that's acting.
What happened to Vosh? Do you remember? I remember she came
You
back
know
with
what?
Q, but I don't remember what happened to her after that.
I think she just went on. Oh, didn't she actually like go back on a more virtuous path to like?
I mean, that's
go
what
do
they said.
something? I don't know. I freaking love Vosh like in TNG, but in DS9 not as much.
Fair. Just thinking of loose ends. That one popped in my
I
mind.
do love her so much. Yeah, maybe she'll come back in Picard.
Melissa, later on, go back and look at the live chat so you can see everybody saying happy birthday to you.
Oh, thanks. I will.
But they're wishing you a lot of birthday love. Man, that's exciting. That's definitely birthday week, January 1st through 7th. I believe Heather's birthday. Yeah, Heather Jordan, her birthday, I think was the 7th or 8th or 9th, but I feel like it was the 7th. It was like right after Aaron's. There are a few people. Anyway.
Hey, wait, I have to give this really fun comment.
Here it comes.
Medallion said Vosh became a new religious sect. Like wasn't it like the Yacht Vosh?
Oh God.
The Yacht Vosh.
Yacht Vosh, yeah. That's hilarious.
Okay.
It's my new headcanon.
But we do have to figure out a way to give Deep Space Nine, more love out in the universe. Because look, Voyager, gets a lot of love. Next Generation does. Original series does. Enterprise does not at all. Enterprise definitely needs it as well. But for right now, we're talking about Deep Space Nine, and everybody at home, keep tweeting about Deep Space Nine. Keep holding that torch and talking about Nog and talking about Odo and talking about Deep Space Nine and Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolf and Ronald D. Moore and all those people, Hans Boimler, all those people that really brought, and the Nah Visitor.
Mm-hmm.
All the people that really deserve a lot of love. And Avery Brooks, of course, even though he won't see it because he is notoriously checked out of the internet.
But Armin will.
Right. Armin and Terry, you're right. Yeah. And Chase.
And Nikki DeBoer and yeah.
So everybody give them the love. Tweet them out. Hey, randomly. It doesn't even have to be anything. You could literally just tweet Chase Masterson and say, hey, by the way, you were amazing as Lita, and I really appreciate your skill. Thank you very much.
Chase Masterson is amazing as Chase Masterson. I mean, just the things she does with Pop Culture Hero Coalition.
Totally.
Yeah, what amazing human being she is too. So she should be lifted up.
100% agree.
Mm-hmm. So make their days. Go say nice things randomly, so it just makes them go, oh shit, I'm glad you appreciate me. Speaking of which, actually, this is a great segue into a little bit more Deep Space Nine. So there's a website, most of you may not be familiar. It is called, let me see if I can, looks like it says Facebook. So there's a website called facebook.com, www.facebook.com. And there's a group called the Andorian Memeing Consortium. I think that's what it's called. And they're doing a fun contest. And that contest is about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the greatest recurring characters.
Oh, yeah,
so they've got a tournament.
With this.
They've got a tournament going. If by obsessed you mean
you love
a little
sports.
interested,
then
yes. So it had like, I don't know, 20 something people. There are people like Vic Fontaine, Joseph Sisko, Ishka, Keiko, Gowron, Nog, Michael Eddington, Wayun, Tora Zial, Luoxana Troy, Kai Wynn, Martok, Ducat, Lita, and so forth. So right now they're about midway through it, and it's actually getting pretty heated. And there are a couple times where I'm like, I don't know if I agree with this. So here's where we are right now, you guys.
I've had to abstain
I've
a few
been
times.
voting in every single one.
Great job, Melissa. I love
so
it.
you know.
So I was pretty sad here that
Oh, that's
Joseph
what you kept telling
Sisko
me about.
lost
Super
to
sad.
Vic Fontaine. Now, no shade on Vic Fontaine, but Joseph Sisko, not just the character, but the actor, really holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I
Ishka
forgot I wasn't going to
defeated
talk to
Keiko.
you because Vic Fontaine's amazing.
Okay, and I'm sure you would be one of the people, Anne-Marie, that voted for Luoxana
You
Troy
know
over
it.
Zial.
But I do love, love Zial. So that was a really hard vote.
There's also something happening in the middle here where there's a little Ferengi that's dominating the competition.
Mhm.
And he
Oh,
took
yeah.
on some heavy hitters. Nog beat Gowron. Then he beat his dad, Rom. Now he's going up against Ishka. Man.
I hate that pairing. That's impossible.
But
I mean,
you
it'll
gotta,
be
No, it's
Nog.
not.
It'll
for
be
me.
Nog.
not for
It'll
me.
be Nog, but I hate that they have to go head to head.
Is this the Andorian Mining Consortium? Is that what you said it was?
Memeing.
Yeah.
Memeing.
So
Oh, okay.
funny.
Memes.
I found one called
So
mining.
funny.
That's apparently a different one.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing.
So let's see. I just want to finish that up. There we go. So Damar has defeated Grilka, which is fine. Grand Negus Zek beat Vic Fontaine.
Mhm.
Brunt lost to Ishka, which is heartbreaking for there are a
How it
lot of
should be.
Ferengi really showing up here. Rom, I mean, putting Rom and Nog against each other is messed up.
Oh man,
But
my
I'm sure
universe
it's
is
randomized.
next. It's gonna be tough. Oof.
Yeah, Lita defeated Cassidy Yates. Ducat defeated Loxana Troy. Sorry, Anne-Marie.
No, you know what? I'll give that. That's a way better round than some of the ones.
So now they're down to the final 9. There's 7 here, and they're waiting. You know, Zek is going against Damar. Okay,
Nog's gonna win.
what do you guys think between Zek and Damar?
Zek.
Zach, probably.
Love Damar. I'm gonna
I
have to go
do
with
love
Damar.
Tamar.
Yeah.
Me too. That
Love
one's
his
not
grip.
going yet. I think they're going to do
Oh my
that one
God.
tomorrow.
Do not even get Linda Anderegg started about her crush on Damar.
But
Yeah, I would go with Damar.
Me too.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It's tough.
Yeah,
I'm
but
Because Zek's
don't
like, oh, how did that get here?
So good.
yeah, I guess there's
Right.
the novelty to Zach that I think that people really like. Damar has a wonderful character growth, character arc. But again, I don't know if that can beat Zek's fuzzy ears and novelty.
Charm. Yeah.
Sorry, ladies, but the live chat is all Team Damar right now.
Okay,
wow.
well, here's the thing.
Mike
Linda
Goo
Anderegg-
says-
I was Team Zach.
Okay, first of all, I want to say that
I was Team Zach.
Medallion says the George Foreman Grilka, which is very funny. And where was the other one? I saw another. Oh, and then he also says Damar Beyond the Stars, which is
Pretty funny.
which is a thing. But other than that, everybody else is saying Damar. There is, yeah,
All right.
there is no Zek here.
That's fun.
So we're gonna find out in a few days. Oh boy, see, this is where rivalries start. I can't
Is this what
wait.
sports feel like?
Yes, isn't it exhilarating?
Yeah,
And I did vote for Ducat.
Nice.
I think Ducat deserved it. I hate to say.
All
Win
right,
has
guys.
to has to beat Martok at the bottom. That'd be ridiculous if Martok wins. I mean, I love Martok, but like Kai Win is just like next level.
Uh,
I actually just voted for Martok.
Totally.
All right, well, let's say, guys, in
I
the live
voted for
chat as
Martok.
well.
Really?
Martok or Win? Martok
Oh,
or Win?
she's just so evil. I can't get past it. And that's wonderful for, Louise Fletcher. She did her wonderful job, but Martok holds a special place in my heart. So
fair enough.
Andy has like more layers. I love him. He like does a lot more for like other characters to get more layers too.
that too.
I might debate that part. Because Win definitely
Oh,
pulled out a
he-
lot of people in a lot of different ways.
Mhm.
But he also lifted up like Worf.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
lifting, yeah. I mean, in
and
terms
there's
of making
just
people
nothing
better.
like seeing
Yeah.
Worf have a happier.
Yeah.
after all of TNG where he wasn't like ecstatically happy and feeling like he fit in. So
Oh, the live
And
chat
then
seems to
where
go with
he came
Martok.
from.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with the live chat. I'm definitely Martok over Win on this one.
you better go vote, Mohammed.
I know. Galinda's with me though.
Kai Wynn needs you.
You got Linda.
My child.
Yes. Oh, Chuck A with the update. Kai Wynn just lost.
I'm shocked. I totally thought she would
By
win
the
easily.
minute. Chuck, can you check
Oh my gosh, is this
Chuck and see
Sports Center?
what
Wow.
the final score was? Or let me check.
I'm really surprised. I thought that would be an easy one.
Well, it looks like it wasn't. Look at this. Here we go. Sorry. Yes, Anne-Marie, this is what I do when I look at sports. I just look at stats and go, I want this one to win. I want that one. Then I go, oh, he was 4 of 9. That's pretty good. It's 44%.
Yeah, this is fun.
But look, a lot of that's
look who I
Martok,
voted for.
1.6. And the laughy face is Win.
Wow, that
And
is an
double.
upset.
Wow. Or more than double. even.
Quadruple, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, look, Homer agreed with me.
So did I.
Oh, it's cool.
Melissa.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah, there are receipts there. So we know who you voted for, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about Ishka and Nog?
Nog's gonna win
guys?
this whole
Nog
thing.
better
Nog.
take it.
Nah, totally.
As much as I freaking
I'm
adore
gonna come to
movie.
people's houses to see who doesn't.
She's
Yeah.
gonna find you guys.
I will
Oh my
find
gosh.
you. That will cut you.
Oh my gosh, this is like boxing, fixed boxing.
Yeah, I think that's not gonna be a very close one. I think Nog should and probably will win. And then, okay, here's a toughie. This is a toughie.
Okay.
Wei-Yun versus Lita.
That's hard, but I think Wei-Yun's probably gonna take it.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
But I'm gonna vote for Lita.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Lita.
Because there are other Vorta who are also creepy. But there's,
Yeah,
only,
but
but there's only one Lita.
But Brunt already lost. You don't want to give him 2 losses in one round. Plus, I like the way you move.
I'll vote for him in the Enterprise tournament. I'll vote for
Yeah.
Shannon Enterprise to make up for it.
There you go.
That's,
Wei-Yun
And you
is-
know he'll win because
Wei-Yun
it's
is
an
an
Andorian
amazing
baby.
character.
yeah, I don't want to. This one's really tough. I feel like Wei-Yun just kind of almost changed my world. Like he's just that much
You
of an
just like him
amazing
because you
actor.
look like him.
What?
Everyone always says in the live chat, they call you Ryun.
Oh yeah, Ryun. That's because I am a Vorta. Very fake.
Florida, I can see, not necessarily
Yeah.
Wei-Yun.
I'd be more like the Iggy Pop Vorta, right?
Closer, yeah.
Yeah. Or one of the ladies. Can show a little.
Oh,
Who was
you're Caitlin Hopkins?
Yeah, Caitlin Hopkins. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you.
No.
Well, then in the final round now, this is just going to be speculation here.
Well, then
Let's-
you still have Ducat versus
Right, that's what I was
Martok
going to
then.
say. Is
Oh,
is
sorry.
it going to be Ducat or Martok?
Probably Ducat, I'm gonna
I
guess.
think to Coddlin.
I agree.
So we believe that the semifinals will be Ducat,
And Nog.
And
Nog,
Wei-Yun,
Damar, and this is the toughie, Lita and Wei-Yun. But it's gonna be Damar, Nog, Ducat.
Wait, you think Damar's
Possibly.
gonna beat Grand Nigga Zach?
We don't.
Not in my
We
world.
go, okay. This is where sports get interesting. Care to make it interesting?
Yeah. 2 bars of gold press platinum.
Relatively speaking, how many episodes is Grand Nigga Zek in? I mean, he's probably in like
So
4.
few, but like
Yeah.
when Deep Space Nine just started, that was like the character that we would quote in my house like every day multiple times. He's like
Oh,
so
okay.
memorable and appealing and like so distinct to Deep Space
I'm
Nine.
leaving that one alone.
I just love it. Yeah. It's just so cute. My sister
Yes.
did. My sister was like, I don't know, like 6 or 7. And she did such a cute little Grand Negus impression. Just He has that it factor.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Okay. I could do this all day. This is the kind of that
I'm
I
obsessed
live
with this.
for, like Star Trek tournaments. I mean, there is nothing cooler than this.
Dude, this is a great one.
Yeah.
Can't believe Win lost.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know
That
you're
was
such a
no-brainer.
devout Win fan.
She's epic. She's horrible, but she's epic.
So everybody in the comments below, so that it is encapsulated forever, not just in the live chat, but in the comments below, when this is over, tell us who your final four are between Zek, Damar, Ishka, Nog, Wayun, Lita, Dukat, and Martok. Give us your final four, and then for extra credit, give us your finals and give us your winner. And let's see if your predictions are correct. You can even say, this is who I would pick, but this is who I predict will win. There's a little difference there.
Yeah.
Let us know, because this is exciting. And then in a week or so, we'll come back and we'll see, and the winner gets a prize, right? They get to be right.
Yeah. And Nog should be the right answer for everything. So yeah, put that out there.
Think he might be. And I
can see
I
it.
would not say that he doesn't deserve it. I will definitely agree with you there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I could
This
just
is
talk
so
about this
fun.
kind of stuff forever. Okay. Let's now change the channel to the end of 2021, because it is nigh. So kind of wanted to go back and just say, look, guys, what were some highlights to the Star Trek series that you've seen recently that you'd like to point out, basically in 2021, was it Prodigy related? Is it, some funny tweets? Is it Discovery season 4 or Lower Decks? What are some fun and interesting things that you'd like to point out with regards to Star Trek in 2021? And everybody in the live chat, let us know what you enjoyed about Star Trek in 2021 so that we can all celebrate and bask in the glory that is Star Trek together. You want to start, Mohammed?
Sure. So we talked about this earlier in the roundtable, but for me, the thing that just knocked my socks off, I knew it was going to be good, but it just knocked my socks off just how good it was that Prodigy premiere. I remember watching it, thinking like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I mean, I thought it was going to be more of a kid's show, but even though people told me like, oh yes, it's a kid's show, but adults will still enjoy it as well. But it really was like watching a really good, Pixar movie or something like that on there. My whole family loved it too. Yeah, it just knocked my socks off. I was very, very happy with it. And I'm not saying that in the sense that I'm implying that any of the others were not also very good, but that for me is standing out just because it was such a surprise just how good it was coming out of the gate. That was amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on my honesty hat for a second, and I'm gonna take off my Wayun. Ryan is totally fake and always lies all the time when he hits record. And I'm going to say that when I first saw the key art for Prodigy, I was like, oh, Star Wars. I recognize that imagery. It's Star Wars. And then when I first started watching the pilot, I was like, oh, it's Star Wars. And then like when I heard the characters talk and when I saw the art and when I heard the music, I was like, oh, it's Star Wars. And then somewhere within that first episode, I was like, oh, it's Star Trek. and that's where it's remained. And so, that's great because that causes somebody like me to kind of reprogram myself and say, hey, why can't Star Trek also dip their toes into this area that is generally occupied by Star Wars, whether it's the color schemes or whether it's the children's kind of cartoon, the Clone Wars feel, other people can do that, and just because it reminds me of that doesn't mean that Star Trek cannot now also occupy that space. And I think they did it very well. And I just want to echo your sentiments, Mohammed, that I was very pleased, not just with the first episode, but just with the trajectory of the show. It's a very enjoyable show. And for those that know me, know that this is a big compliment when I say it's an easy watch, because I'm kind of a tough critic, and I can't, some stuff I just can't watch. Sometimes on a different show, on Falling Towers, watch the first, we have to watch these shows, and it's just like, it's like a chore. And so I appreciate shows that are easy to watch. They're fun, they're easy, like you understand what's going on. You can hide extra meanings in there, you can put Easter eggs, you can do all these things as long as the show is just easy to watch. And then there's just extra stuff as well. And Prodigy is an easy, enjoyable, relaxing, fun watch. And I don't know if that translates to good watch for children, but I would assume, I don't know. Mohammed, you have children. Do children like easy watches, things that are fun and enjoyable?
My child's 17 now. It's a little bit of a hard bar. He liked it, but he's not little by any means. But yeah, I mean, thinking of other things, yeah, I mean, if something's really complex, then they're going to be more looking at the animation and action, whereas if it's easy, then they're actually following the plot and maybe enjoying it a little bit more. At least that's my recollection.
And I love the color scheme.
And I love the kids asking for Murph stuffed animals for Christmas, and all the Twitter, like all the tweets from parents, how they like, for some reason, there's still no merch really, unfortunately, to gift children. But
Murph and Dice.
A lot of people were making their children like Murph plushies, like DIY, and like all of the like tweets with videos of kids like reacting to getting them from Santa. It was so cute, and them hugging their little Murphs. That's definitely a highlight of the year. Like how magical it is to have all these little Trekkies running around, and it like really infuses energy into the fandom. And then also, I don't know if we've mentioned it on the show, it's playing on Nickelodeon now officially for like over a week, I guess. And if you go to the Nickelodeon website, I'm pretty sure you can actually watch a few episodes for free. So if you have children in your life who aren't Paramount Plus subscribers, direct them there and let's convert them.
I do want to point out very quickly that Scott Jensen, who again knows his way to my heart, he says Ryan lies about lying, and there's definitely an especially the lies joke in there that I can't quite find, but there's definitely something in there. And Glenn Iverson says Prodigy is definitely a great transition for Star Wars fans who haven't given Star Trek a chance. That's a good point. Anyway, I just want
this Faith Howell comment saying I enjoyed knowing Mohammed Noor got to keep the science accurate in Star Trek. Major Star Trek highlight of the year.
That's very sweet. I was actually going to point out Faith Howell's other comment. She said, my students who are second graders love Prodigy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, that answers that question. That was Faith. I missed that one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Second graders. Faith, can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, were they laughing at the right points? Were they, screaming about it, or did it just keep their attention, which is hard to do for 7-year-olds? Can you just give us a little bit more information? Because that's very interesting. I don't know any 7-year-olds, so I don't even know what they act like.
Chat pack and watching Seventh Rule, obviously the NVTC total highlight, but also where did it go? Oh yeah, Chuck A said I enjoyed meeting the Seventh Rule at STLV. That was totally going to be one of my highlights too. STLV.
We enjoyed meeting you, Chuck. Awesome guy. We really love having him in our chat pack and in our cyber community. Melissa, can you throw some fun information our way about what you enjoyed or what you would like to highlight Star Trek related from 2021?
Yeah, I did mention it earlier, but Star Trek Las Vegas was definitely a highlight. It was so fun meeting so many people in person that I hadn't met in person, living in this online pandemic world. So that was really fun. The LA Comic-Con after party, mentioned this as well, as seeing Nichelle Nichols dance and the joy in her face was just incredible. And I'm going to keep gushing about that moment because it was such a beautiful moment.
Let's gush about it like forever. Let's never stop.
Okay.
Because it deserves to go on forever.
Check your modem or router connection and try again.
That's
Oh my
Google.
gosh.
Zora?
You stole my joke.
Awesome.
Side note, I do thank Google when I ask her a question. But anyway, and Bill brought up a highlight that I had forgotten about, but the interview with Terry Farrell on the Seventh Rule was a highlight as well. She's a magical person too. What an amazing human being. Love Terry Farrell. And then as far as shows and what have you, the Seventh Rule was a highlight. Woohoo! This was a highlight. Virtual TrekCon was a highlight. And Lower Decks, love Lower Decks, especially the little Borg babies. And
That's an amazing highlight.
That was
I
amazing.
love the little Borg babies. But I have to echo what Mohammed said in that I'm pleasantly surprised by Prodigy, and not just the first episode, but the episodes that I've seen so far. There's great storytelling, there's great character development, there's some wonderful teaching moments by Janeway to the newbie crew, which is wonderful for newbie Trek fans to learn the lingo and immerse them slowly, but in a way that a kid would absorb the technical information that we usually get on Star Trek. So yeah, lots to highlight.
Great stuff.
Yeah, lots of great stuff. And Faith follows up. She says that Prodigy kept their attention. Some of them laughed. We've been watching it at lunch. They took our duty-free lunch away. I don't know what that means.
Well, that means
but
you have to, like, if you're the teacher, you have to work during lunch instead of having like a lunch person take over.
that
Right?
sucks.
Also, like, center seat, super well done, and like always really fun to have like the public also reminded how amazing Star Trek as an entity is. And it was on History Channel for some of the episodes, so like a more mainstream audience, and it just like looks really good for the franchise when there's that kind of exposure. And it was also so well done. And then I also have to say a major highlight was when you did the Voyager doc Indiegogo, and it went insane in the first few hours it went up, and it was like passing like over $100,000 or something insane, like so fast.
In the first 24 hours, we raised $455,000, which is great because it's the production company is 455 Films. So that's how I remember that. I'm like, I'll never forget that because that
was so special.
That was great. Yeah. Thanks to everybody that shared and donated and supported and told other people about that, because man alive, we raised a lot of money to make a lot of Voyager fans very happy with an awesome documentary. And we're working on it. And I mean, if you've seen the Deep Space Nine documentary, you know that the Voyager documentary is going to be amazing. Can't wait for that.
And a spoiler alert for my 2022 favorite moment already is going to be when so many kitchens around the world have Leola root magnets. And it just like takes over the Alpha Quadrant. Can't wait.
Yes. I should have brought those as props. I've got those right now. But yeah, also thanks for mentioning center seat. Big shout out to Brian Volk-Weiss. He's awesome. He's been a guest of ours, and he will also be a guest on the Seventh Rule, reviewing a Deep Space Nine episode next month in January. So that's going to be awesome. We love that dude. He was great, and he makes great material, and we can't wait to enjoy his company talking about our favorite subject. which is Deep Space Nine and more broadly Star Trek. So look forward to that, everybody. You know what I liked that hasn't been mentioned, I think, was Star Trek Day. And what I liked about it was how much people put into it. Like they really put in a lot of effort to make sure everybody was safe. We were wearing 9 masks, basically. They had our ears covered. We had elbow pads. You know, they put grass stains on our shoulders. I'm like, does that even help? And they're like, just do it. It's for safety. But they took so many precautions, but they also took all these measures to make sure everybody was happy. You know, they handed out snacks for us that were all, you know, individually wrapped, and they put on a good show, and they had a live orchestra, and they gave us beverages so that we got all giggly. And it was just a really good time. They made announcements.
Rock was
we
the
got
Deep Space Nine representative.
brought down the
So
house.
deserved.
I really appreciated the amount of work and effort they put into giving us all a fun and pleasant evening that were there, and the people that were watching live online were also having a great time, I'm sure. So big shout out to the people at Star Trek on Paramount Plus for doing that, because that must have been an enormous amount of work, especially with all the COVID stuff. I can't imagine. And I'm glad they were tasked with doing it, because obviously they are capable of handling big tasks.
Also, their live premiere, virtual premieres, like they just keep giving, and they're so amazing with like fans and interacting on Twitter. And if you do a virtual premiere, sending you like party favors the next day. And I mean,
and you get a shout out on the virtual premiere of Discovery. Oh no, wait, that was just me.
That was just
That was
hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that was totally a highlight of the year.
I should remember
Husk
that.
is not correct.
Yeah, Ryan T. Husk is not correct. And we're like, what the? Why are they talking about me?
I wish I had screen recorded that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the events are so amazing. I actually like reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in like 10 years who I recognized their name like on the thing, and we didn't even know we watched Star Trek when we both like Star Trek when we worked together. Like that's the power of Star Trek bringing people together.
Yeah.
So fun.
So speaking of Star Trek Day, by the way, we're going to ask a Star Trek Day question in just a second after Mohammed says whatever it was he was just about to say.
Yeah, I was just going to make an added comment too, because some other folks mentioned this as well too, about the 7th rules. End of the year, so it's a good time to reflect on this too. And I made a comment about this in the 7th rule Discord, but I'll have to say that like in terms of just an impact on my life, oh my God, like getting to know the wonderful people in this community, and you know, people have mentioned me meeting a lot of them in the conventions and just interacting online. It's been such a highlight, but I actually have something concrete where I can point out just how amazing 7th rule people are. So on Facebook, you know, or Meta or whatever you want to call it, you can do these these fundraisers.
It's www.facebook.com.
Just in case anybody doesn't know about it. Yeah. You can do a fundraiser when your birthday is approaching. So I did one for the North Carolina, Central and Eastern North Carolina Food Bank or something like that. It's something, it's a very, very local charity. And way over half of the donations came from people associated with the 7th rule, of whom almost none live in North Carolina even, or something like that. Yeah. And I should say it's not just representative of who my friend group is on Facebook. I mean, that's still a fairly small fraction of my Facebook friends are people active in the 7th rule, but just shows just one more representation of just that overt kindness. And you see it in the chats too. I mean, you can see the chat right now. Like there's almost never a troll, which is amazing for something that goes on all the time. There's always such incredible support. Everybody's like at so-and-so, hey, at Chuck A, hey, good to see you. You know, everybody's always super positive, super enthusiastic, super supportive, like, yay, Dr. Anne Marie's on the screen. You know, like
it just gives me, it makes life so much happier. It's just
oh my God,
night and day difference to life before 7th rule. It's
night and day difference to like any online community I think there is. I've never seen one this positive, this supportive, and we all have our shared love.
We have Aaron to thank.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again, like it comes from the top. I mean, we see like Sirach, Brian, Melissa, and Aaron, who always were incredibly gracious, incredibly not kind, and always, you know, reinforcing that behavior. And then of course, Dr. Anne Marie, you as well too. I mean, yeah, this is the best. So I just want to toss that out there since this is our last main viewer of this year, but Thank you to everybody associated with Virtual Trek Con and the Seventh Rule. You all are amazing.
That's awesome. Thanks for saying that. Really appreciate it. And it's true. That is an actual concrete thing that you can see where you're like, wow, there are a bunch of names and a bunch of dollar signs or pounds,
Some of
or
them were
whatever
international.
Canada uses.
Yeah.
that is coming from the broader or greater Seventh Rule community, and they're just such a supportive community, and you guys are so amazing. We really appreciate how good you guys are, not just to us but especially to each other. Like you were saying, Mohammed, we love seeing them make friends amongst themselves because they're such great people. We're like, don't just give us the love, you guys got to give each other the love too. And that's actually, thanks for pointing that out, because it reminds me of what is possibly my biggest highlight of the year. And it's usually a surprise, an unlooked for surprise. And that was at Star Trek Las Vegas, when some of you, like Mohammed and Anne-Marie and TJ and others, were being recognized from the Seventh Rule. Like, we could understand, somebody that watched the Seventh Rule might recognize Melissa or Sirach or myself. But when people would come up and they'd be like, hey, you're in the free-for-alls of the Seventh Rule to, to
that happened
somebody.
multiple times.
That's so cool. That was just the best, because I'm like, yes, you should know this guy. He's awesome. So that really, that was a huge highlight for me. Melissa, do you have anything to add, or were you just soaking up the goodness?
I was soaking up the goodness, but yeah, that was a great part of STLV as well, or Star Trek, or
That's
whatever
right.
it's
Oh wait,
called
yeah,
right
55 here.
And also
Yeah. But also to echo Mohammed, I too did a charity for my birthday, and within minutes of posting it, I had reached my goal. And because of the love of the Seventh Rule family, and y'all are amazing. I can't gush enough about you. Yeah, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, all of you.
Awesome.
Much love.
That stuff is so fun to hear and talk about, isn't it? Boy, oh boy, especially with all the shitty things going. Don't, you guys,
Creation just
trust
did
me,
such a great job, like
don't check the
making
news.
sure everybody was
It's all
safe.
bad news.
Yeah.
Yes, Creation was great too.
They were wonderful. That was so impressive.
Especially
Did a really good job.
safety precautions and everything, and
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
See.
all right, you guys, are you ready for the Star Trek Day trivia game question of the week? Whoa, wait a minute. Fuck it. We've teased it long enough. Here we go. This is it. You guys don't say the answer if you know it. Wait, did we do this one last week already? I can never tell which side I picked from. Okay, here we go. In Star Trek Nemesis, what did Shinzon use to assassinate the entire Romulan Senate? Was it A, Phaleron radiation, B, trilithium resin, C, cobalt diselenide, I think I said that right,
It's just a little ball.
aceton assimilators? That one sounds naughty. Here's the question again with butchered answers. In Star Trek Nemesis, what did Shinzon use to assimilate the entire Romulan Senate? Sorry, assassinate. Was it A, Phaleron, was it Phaleron radiation, B, trilithium resin, C, cobalt diselenide, or D, aceton assimilators? Cobalt.
Assimilators.
Yeah, that's why I said assimilate in the other one.
Weird.
By the way, kobolds are also Dungeons and Dragons monsters. Any of you play D&D, you know that kobolds are a thing, but it's spelled with a K instead of a C here.
And it's
So-
also
Scary
like
Gaia.
blue. And
Mhm.
it's a blue.
It's a beautiful blue.
Blue.
Mhm. So you'll get that answer in just a moment. But before we get that answer, while everybody puts down what they think it is. Big falling tower announcement, you guys. Big giant falling tower announcement on Wednesday, December 29th. We will be going live, that we being Falling Tower, will be going live to go over the end of the year review, or what are we calling it? A year in review. Just pretend like we have a fancy name. Basically,
The final cut.
Yeah. What we do is we go over all of the shows real quick. We just fly through all the shows that we covered and we go over them. I mean, there were shows like Robotech, Thundercats Ho, My Little Pony.
What we do in the shadows, which introduced me to what we do in the
Who Cares Shadows.
It goes way back to WandaVision and stuff.
WandaVision. There was
Golden Girls, your favorite.
Stargate SG-1. All kind the Twilight Zone. You guys, so much good stuff. We're gonna have tons of guests. You never know who might pop up. Might be Melissa, might be Muhammad, might be both. I might be there. But check it out. That is Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on Falling Towers YouTube channel. That's www.youtube.com/Falling Tower, or you could just type in Falling Tower and it'll come up. And that is, yes, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a ton of guests. It's going to be a ton of fun, and it is going to be live. So we will be talking with you. You can tell us what you think of these shows, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So please check that out. We want to talk with you. We want you to be part of this conversation as we say goodbye to 2021 and ring in the new year a couple days early, because who knows? Maybe the whole world could blow up before the new year. Enjoy it now.
Will you tell people if you watched the second?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part of the thing.
We will reveal when we say we would watch the second. We now will go back and reveal if we actually did watch the second, or even worse, the shame of sometimes I say I would not watch the second, and I have to reveal that I did in fact watch the second of some crappy show that I swore I would not watch, and there may be one or two of those. So check that out. Once again, Wednesday, December 29th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll be going for a couple hours. Join the fun. Talk with us. Tell us what you think about those shows. It's a great time. We love it. We did it last year for the first time because this show is 2 years old, and now we're doing it a second time. Yes, Melissa and Mohammed will be there, and a bunch of other people. So it'll be an awesome time. Anne-Marie will be dominating in the live chat.
Hey, Anne-Marie.
I was curious if you guys watched the second or not. It's so fun.
Also, the Seventh Rules new episode was just released, so check that out. It was Sons and Daughters, Deep Space Nine Season 6, Sons and Daughters. Check that out. That's Seventh Rule on YouTube. And also the Seventh Rule will be reviewing the newest episode of Discovery that will be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, the 30th. That will be Discovery episode 7 of season 4. It's a lot of information in this brain that is only good for puns and sports. So
and then Friday, daily Star Trek news on their YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. They're doing a live premiere of the Star Trek in Memoriam video for 2021, and they always do a beautiful job. So if you're around, make sure to check that out, or at least check it out afterwards, and we'll share it too. But I know they've been working hard on it.
Very good. Thanks
Daily
for
Star
remembering
Trek
that.
news.
Great one. Friday, and they can find them on YouTube. Daily Star Trek news. Just check them out on YouTube. Great one. Thank you. All right. So it's time to reveal the answer. Do you guys know what the answer was?
I'm guessing radiation, maybe. What I don't know. What fit in that little ball bomb?
Guess A.
It was a bath bomb.
I was just gonna say, was it a bath bomb?
It was in fact A. Thalaron radiation or Thalaron. What did they pronounce? How did they
I
pronounce
don't
it?
remember now.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Wait, Dalaran? I don't know.
Thalaron. Anyway, so that's the answer. And you know what, guys? Real quick, Mohammed has threatened us with a good time and said he could give us a bonus next generation trivia question right now. Let's do it. Let's we've earned it. We've earned
My
it.
box
We-
here.
Oh, I love these
Shout
ones. These are hard
Yeah, these are tough.
These are deep
All
cuts.
right.
in the best way.
In the episode called Disaster, Picard injured what portion of his anatomy? Is it A, his head, B, his arm, or C, his ankle?
What the hell? What episode is Disaster?
I don't even remember.
That's the thing. My TNG episode title knowledge is like so much less than Deep Space Nine.
It apparently also has a plasma fire in there.
Don't they all?
I know, right?
Well, see, I don't remember what episode Disaster was, but I'm just
Could it
trying to
be-
picture
Could it be the one where he and
Picard
Wesley?
being injured. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to
People
go
are
with
saying-
ankle.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying ankle broke his leg, and they're correct. That is the correct answer. I still
Can
don't remember
somebody
what
tell me
episode.
what episode it is?
Oh, medallion, you naughty.
I know. I want to.
Oh,
I
God.
want to see that episode.
My
No.
brain
That's a
went
disaster.
into the gutter and thought head.
Freaking! Somebody tell me what episode Disaster is before I.
I don't
Go
know
crazy.
what it is.
Okay, give us another one, Mohammed, so that
Sure.
we have time for somebody to
Sure.
remind Anne Marie.
I'll pick a random one because there's like 8 on here. In Disaster, the USS Enterprise was in danger of
Disaster again. Oh no.
Good, maybe it'll give
Can I
us
pick a different one? I'll
context
pick a
clue.
different one.
No, please,
I want a
please. This is
context
better
clue.
this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
The USS Enterprise was in danger of exploding due to weakening of the magnetic containment field surrounding what pods? Was it antimatter pods for A, or B, warp field generator pods, or C, warp core jettison pods?
Okay, guess what episode it is though? The one where Worf delivers Keiko's baby.
Oh, okay. That makes
It's
sense.
the one where he took his 4 pips and divide them with the little kids and stuff.
Oh, yeah, and they
Yeah.
do Farajaka. I
Yeah,
love that
that's what it
episode
is.
so
Okay.
much. Okay, I have no idea what the answer is though.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
yeah, that was an ankle. Wait, what was the question again?
So it's the Enterprise was in danger of exploding due to weakening of the magnetic containment field surrounding which pods? A, antimatter pods, B, warp field generator pods, or C, warp core jettison pods. I see we have some
A or
variation in
C?
answers in the chat. Chuck A said C, JR Poole said A.
Yeah, I think it's A or C.
A couple people wrote antimatter.
I think antimatter.
All right, that is correct. It is antimatter.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, these ones are tough.
I love it.
Was that
Actually,
A?
That was A.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's the one I thought it was.
I've
But then
been,
when 2 of them had to do with the warp core, I went back to my high school days and saying, wait, if it's 2 things, then usually it's one of those 2 things because they're trying to trick you. But
I'll give you a last one. This
Sometimes
one's
they take it
easier.
out.
This is
Yeah.
much easier. I think a lot of people get this one. Also in
goodness.
Disaster, what song did Picard and the children sing as they were climbing up the
Erzaca.
ladder? Yeah, there you go.
Anne
So you have to give
Marie.
the answers there.
it's like one of my favorite moments in TNG.
The other choices,
Sorry,
so
what
were
are the choices?
row your boat,
Oh, that's so front. Final.
or
Final
Mary had a
Frontier.
little lamb.
Yeah,
That was Farajaka.
yeah.
Wait, do
Or,
they say Mary had a little lamb in Star Trek?
I don't remember that one. I remember row your boat from Star
Yeah,
Trek
yeah.
5.
Oh, I
Mhm.
love this. Yeah, I need to buy those cards so I can study.
Yeah, these are hard
They're
cards.
so fun. I wish there were some for Deep Sea Sign and Voyager too.
Yeah,
They're great.
totally.
All right. Well, people still answered, even
Someone
though
said Medallions and
Macarena.
Macarena.
Macarena?
Oops. Oh, it doesn't show it. There you can see the little
There it is.
cards.
Emily, a picture.
those are fun.
Yeah.
All right, everybody at home. Thank
you,
you very
Mohammed.
much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Go back and check out the 7th Rules new episode of Sons and Daughters. It's a great time. It's a great episode. And check out the 7th Rule on Thursday as well at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, as we review the newest episode of Discovery. And lastly, Wednesday, December 29th, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Check out the fun, or just go to Falling Tower on social media, on like Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and you'll check out. You can just follow the link that we put up there. It's going to be a great time. hey, it's winter. Let's hang out. Let's talk. Let's have some fun. So,
Final cut.
Mohammed, where can people find you online, or what would you like to promote?
Sure,
The
I'm
Final
on
Cut.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much any social media as MAF, like in Frank Noor, and like November OOR, and on YouTube as BioTrekkie Explains. So BIOTREKKIE. Thank you.
Wait, really fast for BioTrekkie Explains. Don't you have a new show coming out soon?
Yeah,
look out
we're
for?
gonna start. We're gonna start after season 4 of
Oh, okay,
Discovery ends. So sometime.
So now
whenever
it'll be
that
a
will
little bit later.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been recording though, so we have there's some
Oh, no,
in
so
the
that-
hopper.
That definitely
Because I was
affected you.
thinking it was in
I
January.
did. I didn't know about it before this week too. I was like, okay,
So funny. You're like, well, we got more time than I thought.
exactly.
Okay.
Melissa, where can people find you besides walkingartmadebymelissa.com?
I
is
got my
awesome.
bracelet.
Yes, on the Twitter and the Instagram and and the YouTube and the seventh rule and here sometimes.
And Falling Tower on Wednesday. Awesome. Anne-Marie, what about you?
Twitter at Anne-Marie Siegel 1. And then this was such a good live chat tonight. I'm totally going to read it like 2 more times after we finish because there's so many good one-liners.
Oh, I should add for Anne-Marie, when you're spelling Anne-Marie Siegel, there's no E in Anne.
Oh,
so
yeah,
just a couple
that's
people
right.
have tried to at her before
That's-
and did
forgot
the
about that.
E in there.
Don't at
Yeah.
me. Don't at me.
No, at me,
No
but without
E.
an E.
Exactly.
ANNMARIESEGAL number 1.
Oh geez, I just saw we're on a 20-second delay on YouTube, so I watch on my laptop to make sure everything's going okay. And just now I just saw myself laughing on 20 seconds ago, and I'm like, damn, do I really look that stupid when I laugh?
It's like a TNG
Oh well,
episode.
it's
You're
about
great,
time I
come on.
found out. And if you want to follow me, everybody, just Google my name, Ryan T. Husk, and follow me on whatever your social media platform of choice is. Although Darth was trying to get me on Snapchat of all weird things. He's like, hey, are you on Snapchat? I'm like,
Okay,
I thought he
also
was
you live
joking.
with Darth.
I'm like, are you kidding? Like, are you being serious? He's like, yeah, look, I made myself a little avatar. You can send it. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. But anyway, so if you want to find me on Snapchat, go ahead, but there's nothing gonna happen there. Or else just on Falling Tower, the 7th Rule, and Virtual Trek Con. Oh, by the way, you guys, we have huge announcement news coming very soon for Virtual Trek Con. We're talking about the biggest, most interesting, and coolest and mind-blowing news you've ever heard from Virtual Trek Con.
It's Mark Alemo. He's coming on. Just kidding.
Oh man, I
Just
wish.
kidding.
I wish he would serenade us with his lovely voice. Anyway, thanks very much, guys. We'll see you next time. And if you guys at home are interested in talking about Andorian memeing consortiums, or that Deep Space Nine needs more love, that's a mouthful. If you want any of that stuff, put it on the main viewer.